All right, what is happening, people? Welcome to episode 191 of the show with me. How's everyone doing? How was your weekend? Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you hopped on the Doge train, and hopefully you took that thing to the moon, literally to the moon. We're going to the moon. The moon is where we're going, and nobody's going to stop us. Nobody is stopping the Doge now. I don't know if you guys saw it, the SNL with Elon Musk, but I was going to stay up and watch it. But then I realized I never stay up past 9:30 because I sleep like I'm an elderly person. But apparently it was really good. I watched all the clips of it. He was the first openly Asperger's dude. Congratulations, Elon Musk. Could have guessed that from just listening to the dude talk, you know? Like, I don't know. It seemed like it was breaking news to people that the dude was on the spectrum, but I don't understand why. The guy is a genius, right? The guy is obviously hyper focused. He obviously is a little awkward in front of a camera when he talks. I don't know if you've listened to him on shows like Rogan. When he like took a hit of the joint and he looks at it like, what is this thing? This is a dude who literally takes spaceships to other planets, to the moon. He literally makes cars, electric cars. Like, this is a guy who makes monkeys play Pong. Have you seen the video where his company Neuralink, they make monkeys that play video games? This is a guy who literally digs deep holes into the ground to put his Tesla into. My dog has been barking all morning, and it's the one thing that it makes me the most pissed is when she does this. I do apologize for it. I don't think you can hear it. I think I'm just kind of rambling now because I can hear it and you guys can't hear it. So it's definitely a disconnect there. But it was good. It was funny. You know, I've been a investor in Dogecoin, and it's all funny. It's all fun and games until it's not. You know, this is my whole thing. I don't think I've really talked about Dogecoin too much on the podcast, but this is my whole thing with Doge. What if Dogecoin does get to $1? Or what if it gets to $10? The odds of the $10 are super low, right? The thing is with Dogecoin is that the market cap, I think at the market cap when it got to 75 cents was already sitting at a $78 billion market cap, you know, which is kind of crazy. You know, the reason why people say Bitcoin's going to get to $1 million is because the market cap's going to equate to what the gold market cap is. And the gold market cap is $10 trillion, right? So if the market cap for gold is 10 trillion and they're saying that the market cap for Bitcoin, when it hits 10 trillion, each Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million. So why not? $1 million. So, but what makes Dogecoin so unique? I'm not a financial advisor. And if you are a financial advisor, you're probably pulling your hair out right now and you're like, what are you talking about? It's literally nothing. And my argument to that is, yeah, it's nothing, but everything's nothing until it becomes something. Like, right. The way that the US dollar has gained so much strength is because it has been accepted worldwide to be the most powerful exchange currency. It is the number one currency. Everything's reflected off of it. But in the recent years, the recent events since Richard Nixon took off the gold standard, it's not backed by anything anymore. So it's only as powerful. It's literally just as powerful as accepted worldwide. It used to be backed by the gold. So gold is something that's literally worldwide accepted. So if you put the dollar backed by gold, then there's a hard value to it. But in 2020, the amount of money that we have been printing, the amount of money that we've just been throwing out into the economy, the amount of money that we're just giving out to people, like, I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you guys keep up with like the economy and stuff, but April was the worst job report ever expected. I was running on the treadmill and I'm just, I'm doing my thing. I think I ran like 4 miles and just sitting there watching the news. and they're saying that the jobs report's about to be reported. I'm like, oh, cool, okay. Let's see how April was. It should be a lot better because March was really good. His numbers were really surprising. It did really well. Things are starting to open back up. Florida's rock and rolling. Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming. All these places are rocking and rolling. You know, we have been lifting restrictions here. You don't have to wear a mask outside anymore, which nobody was doing in the first place. Crazy rule by the CDC that you got to wear a mask outside. Imagine wearing a mask just walking down like the beach. Like, what is happening? Anyways, I digress. But what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Have you seen like a bunch of states? I know South Carolina was one of them, and I think Montana was the other one. That they're like, no, we're not offering unemployment anymore. Like that extra $300, that's gone. Like it's just unemployment now. Because the jobs report, we were expecting 1 million new jobs. It was only 222,000. When I saw that pop up on Bloomberg while I was running on the treadmill, I was like, that's got to be an error. There's no way that's real. There's no way that we missed our expectations by our estimations by that much. And the reason why is I guarantee if you're listening to this podcast right now and you're driving, whenever you park, walk wherever you are. Just walk down the street and look at every single business, restaurant, retail, whatever it is, and see what's hanging on the outside. It's all saying now hiring or help wanted. And it's so bad so that it's not just saying help wanted or now hiring. It's saying we will pay you an extra a sign-on bonus, something that you only got when you did like a job that requires like a college education. Like I've worked at a gym, I worked at a restaurant, and each time I worked there, there's never a sign-on bonus. But people are not working anymore. And the reason why people aren't working anymore is because we've taken this idea, this emergency situation, which was so needed, unemployment, extra $300 to everybody who was on unemployment. I was part of that. I can't complain. And they just kept on giving it to people, which was fine during the lockdown. But as the world starts opening up, and the reason why unemployment was so high is because you physically could not go get a job. But now all these places are out here they're offering jobs. They're saying, hey, come work for us. Come work for us. People are like, nah, it's easier just to sit on unemployment and just not have to do anything. And it's fascinating because I see both sides of the picture. You know, I think there's a few people who are actually still scared of the virus, where like they are vaccinated, people are vaccinated, they still wear the mask, but they're still scared to go out in public. And I don't think that's because of COVID necessarily. I think these are people who are hypochondriacs. Like they're scared every time there's a sickness. Like I don't think it's COVID specific. I think there's hypochondriacs, and this is a very hard time if you're if you're a person who functions at a high anxiety level all the time, and you're also a hypochondriac. I think this is a hard time for you. Like I know for me personally, there was maybe 2 weeks there max where I was actually scared of the virus. Besides that, once I start seeing the numbers, like I'm talking early, like late April, May, I was like, oh, okay, I'm fine. You know, I'm gonna be fine. I just need to stay away from other people because I don't want to spread it. I don't want to get other people sick. But I think if you're somebody who's a very, very hypochondriac-like person and you're an anxious person, I can understand, even though it doesn't make sense, but I can understand why you're still scared of the virus. That's fine. But I think a lot of people are sitting on unemployment right now because the money is so much better than if they're working. Now, you could break that apart. Now, how do you break that apart? There's two ways to look at that. There's one way. Yeah, dude, go work. I know you're not going to make as much money, but that's part of the process. Like, you got to work your way up. That's one side. I would say that's more of a conservative side. And then you can look at the other side, which is those jobs should be paying more. They should be paying more so people don't have, so if people, there's an incentive to get off unemployment. And I see that perspective too. But I think the issue is that the government has given you so much extra money a month. Like literally, it's our first round of stimulus checks of $1,200. If you sit on unemployment each month, just the extra money you make each month is a whole stimulus package, a whole stimulus check, right? That's $1,200 extra each month. 1,200 times 12, what is that? I'm so dumb, I need to pull out my calculator. 1,200 times 12. You're making an extra $14,400 a month just sitting on unemployment. Like how could you blame someone for that? You can't, like, I don't think you can blame anybody for that. I think that makes perfect sense. And I think the government has put themselves in a very tricky situation where they want the economy to start growing. And what are their what are the numbers they're using for that? I think the biggest number that's kind of getting thrown around a lot is unemployment. They want unemployment lower again, and it was getting there, but then it shot back up because people don't want to go back to work. People are using the excuse of COVID. Which, like I said, is an excuse for a lot of people. For some people, it's a legit excuse. For everybody else, I think they just want to milk the system and make money, which at the same time, I can't blame them, dude. I can't blame them. Why would you want to go back and wash dishes for $12 an hour when you can sit on unemployment and make the equivalent of $20 an hour? Like, you can't blame these people. So states like South Carolina and Montana just kind of canceled it, and now people are going back to work. They don't want to. I'm sure people are going to be protesting here within. I think these next 3 months, you're going to see people protesting about unemployment getting canceled and the whole $15 an hour thing again, which is, I think, for a different conversation. It's complicated, right? It's hard to increase. It's hard to increase minimum wage when we've decreased the value of the dollar so much. I mean, our economy is going to grow, right? Our economy is going to grow, but of course it's going to grow because it's shrunk so much. And the growth is going to come from just things reopening. And I think there could be a hyper explosion in our economy. Like, whenever the government, they have a goal to get to 2% inflation, that's fine. I guess that's fine. But I just don't trust the government to slowly release anything. Like, honestly, I think we're in for it. Like, I think this next year and a half is going to be fine. But after that, I mean, you're already seeing right now in the gas industry. Like, I was in, where did I go? I went to Columbia, Maryland, which is kind of a wealthier area, right? In around Baltimore. It's a wealthier, like, there's a huge Whole Foods there, a huge mall there. It's a wealthier class area. And the gas was $3.25 there. I go back to Arnold, which is still a relatively wealthy area. Gas is $2.89 there. And then I go to some more places that aren't nearly as wealthy. $2.75. Like, gas is expanding. The prices are going up, right? Big time. In inflation. The places around me, the places that I go to, the businesses that I attend, all their prices are going up slightly. What else? Inflation is going up. You can just look at lumber. Apparently, right now, when you start the process of building a deck, the estimate that you get it could go up a few percentage points. The price of the lumber that you pay at the contract at the beginning, there's a clause where the price could. Now, I got this from a source that may not be the most reliable, but it could go up in price because things are going up in price right now. Because when everything's been shut down, the world's been opened up, and you also got to think about all the people on unemployment. When you get paid, right? The idea of getting paid is because as an employee, you're producing $12 worth of value an hour, right? Like, over the expenses, your worth is $12 to the business. Not saying that's not a dig at you. That's just who you are. But if you're getting paid $20 an hour to sit on your ass to do nothing all day and watch Netflix, you do that for 8 hours a day, then the expenses are going up, but nothing is being produced. That's what's happening right now with this unemployment. The expenses are just keep going up. Nothing's being produced. The only thing that's being manufactured is money. So you're having a situation where expense sheet's up, nothing's being produced, there's no products, there's no services. And what do? We kickstart the machine at the Federal Reserve, and we print more money. And it's a dangerous situation. It's not a good situation. It's one of the reasons why crypto has taken on such an explosion this past year, because people are like, holy crap, how much more money can we print? I mean, like, the infrastructure deal, that's going to be a couple $1 trillion. Biden has another, like, Save America, I don't know, some school thing that he was going to do with his girl Jill. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm not nihilistic about it. Like, I'm fairly confident in us getting through it, but I almost burned myself right here in this candle. This is such a bad idea, the way how this candle's set up. There's not like a covering or anything. It's going to light the whole room on fire. But it's fascinating. You know, I think just explore where you are. Like, go walking down the street, look at all these signs. And honestly, like, at the same time, if I sit on unemployment or work, like, you can't, and that's the thing, you can't blame people. you can't blame people for this. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. What does this say? What does this say right here? It may be time to relax indoor face mask mandates, Fauci says. Why do we he's like the king of the virus. I don't know, like, I guess, but I don't know. Dr. Fauci says federal guidelines on wearing face coverings indoors may change soon. That's what I'm talking about, Fauci. Get after it, brother, man. What is this? What is this? Go away. Go away, huge ad. I don't want that. I don't care. Pause. Okay. Sunday on ABC News, Fauci was asked whether it's time to start relaxing indoor mask requirements. Fauci replied, "I think so. And I think you're going to probably be seeing that as we go along and as more people get vaccinated." The U.S. Centers for Disease, the CDC, and Prevention will be updating its guidelines almost in real time as Americans get vaccinated, said Fauci. The CDC relaxed its guidelines last month to wear a mask outdoors, but still advised both vaccinated. We do need to start being more liberal as we get more people vaccinated, he said. Sunday on CBC, Face the Nation, Dr. Scott Gottlieb, former commissioner of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, said face mask requirements should be relaxed now that the COVID-19 risk is dropping. I agree. Certainly outdoors, we shouldn't be putting limits on gatherings anymore. Yo, what up, doctor? Yo, Dr. Scott Gottlieb, you're the best. We shouldn't be putting... Yo, like, this is my whole thing. Like, we went after Florida and Texas so hard, calling them just like they just grandma killers, like they're the worst people. But then, boom, my boy Gottlieb saying, certainly we shouldn't be putting limits on gatherings anymore. It's wild. The states where prevalence is low, vaccination rates are high, and we have good testing in place where identifying infections. I think we can start lifting these restrictions indoors as well on a broad basis. Shout out to you, brother, man. Lifting pandemic restrictions when they are no longer necessary will make it safer for public health officials to re-implement them if case right. Yeah, good luck. This is my thing. If they open up, they better be damn sure, because guess what's not going to be as easy the second time? Is shutting back down. Good luck, Hogan. Like, that's not a threat. I'm just saying good luck. Good luck. People are not going to be having that. Good luck. And also, people are not going to be staying locked down much longer. People are pissed. I honestly, like, especially when you see states who are doing fine. People are like, what are we doing? Someone just honked. Somebody at my house. I don't think so. We'll see. I don't think anybody's at my house. I hope not. Because this is the middle of a podcast. Fauci makes a Mother's Day prediction. The U.S. will probably be back to normal by next Mother's Day if enough people get vaccinated against COVID-19. What are you talking about? A whole year? Fauci, I don't understand. I hope that next Mother's Day we're going to see a dramatic difference than what we're seeing right now. I believe that we will be about as close to back to normal as we can. There are some conditions he noted. We've got to make sure that we get the overwhelming proportion of the population vaccinated. When that happens, the virus doesn't really have any place to go, he said. You're not going to see a surge. You're not going to see the kinds of numbers we now see. White House COVID-19 response coordinator Jeff Zients told Jake Tapper Sunday that the country is turning the corner on the pandemic, but stressed the importance of all Americans getting vaccinated. He noted that Joe Biden set a goal of having 70% of adults vaccinated by July 4th. Yeah, so that, I mean, I don't know. Cast a shadow on vaccinations. I don't know. I don't see. I want to see what the U.S. numbers are right now. U.S. COVID vaccine. We have right now, we're sitting at 46.3% of the country's vaccinated. U.S. COVID cases down 30% over the last 2 weeks. And we're 2 million shots a day. Right now, as of yesterday, we only had 22,000 cases. Yeah, dude, just let us rip, dog. I'm ready, man. I'm just, I don't know. I'm so fed up with it. Like, especially where I live, dude. Like where I live, it's gone. Like in Maryland, like we had 430 cases yesterday. Like, what are we doing? Like, let's just open the damn country back up. See that shooting in Colorado Springs? It's terrible, dude. It's so sad, man. Like this guy just opened fire. It's following is a real-time scanner traffic from the Colorado Springs department. Some of the content might be graphic. So this is from Colorado Springs on the dispatcher. 2828 Preakness Way for a gunshot victim. Fire dispatch AMR 59 responding with engine 11. Call taker got the address from the GPS. Not sure if it's exact. Sounds like there are several people on scene. PD is en route on the location stage when you get close to the area. Sounds like more shots are still being fired. Keep your distance. We're looking like we have multiple victims. Why don't we start a few more ambulances? Code 2 for a total of 3. An additional engine company. 2828 Peakness Way, possible multiple gunshot victims. Police are on the scene advising that there are 4 victims and you are all clear to go in. 6 victims now. Police. Engine 11 copies, total of 6. We have 1 critical red and 5 black. I don't think we're going to need all those additional resources that are coming. They're all in the same address. AMR has sent 6 ambulances. 3 are on the scene and 3 are en route. Updated triage. We have that 1 critical that's already been transported. Terrifying. Total of 7, 6 black, 1 red that has been transported. 1 red means injured, not dead. Black equals death because you're dead. It's dark, man. That's real dark. I don't know. The amount of mass shootings we've had in the past like month is crazy. And you know, I'm not one to jump on blaming guns. Like I'm not that person. I because to me it's hard to blame guns. I think it's the easy route. I think it's the bridge over the water instead of that's a terrible analogy. I think just blame guns for things is very shallow because yesterday on Monday the 10th there was a mass stabbing in New Zealand. Do you ban kitchen knives? It's a complicated matter, and I think right now you're running into a situation where people have been locked down for a whole year. You have schizophrenics locked down. You have people with severe anxiety, severe depression, people who hear voices in their head, people who are violent, people who want to kill. You have people who've lost their jobs. You have people who have no money. You have people who've lost loved ones to COVID. You have people who have gone through horrible breakups. You have people who are suffering, man, like legit suffering. And I'm not saying that that's okay. If you're suffering, go out and kill. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is I think the act of just pointing your finger to a weapon is not helping the situation. The situation is mental illness in this country has gone crazy, and it's just going to get worse as we implement more and more. If we implement more and more lockdowns, people are going to be losing their minds. And guess what? When I lose my mind, I yell and I scream and I kick things. Not people, but things. I get upset, right? I yell at myself, you know. But and here's the truth, when some people lose their mind and some people get pissed and some people get mad, they take a gun, they look for people and they shoot them and they kill them. And if they don't get a gun, they get a knife. And if they don't get a knife, they use a fist. Because people run on a spectrum. And some people are barely, like literally barely hanging on. And if they were barely hanging on going into this lockdown, and I'm not criticizing the lockdowns. All I'm saying is this is the truth. There's people who are barely hanging on and boom, just like that, their grenade goes off and people die. And by saying it's the gun's fault, guess what you're not helping? You're not helping people like that who are still living among us, who are still watching us, breathing near us. And those people are being overlooked. They're being overlooked. And all I'm saying is that it's not going to stop until we address the real issue. We go after these pro-gun people like they're the killers. I know plenty of people who are into guns, who are the safest you ever meet with guns, who respect guns more than anybody else. A gun in the hands of a crazy person, they can easily get those. So yeah, maybe there should be restrictions on that. But I think it's very dangerous when you sidetrack from an issue, a systemic issue, and the issue of mental health. And maybe these pharmaceuticals should be blamed too. We're giving people a crap ton of drugs, like mind-altering drugs, Xanax, Adderall. These drugs are made to subdue your chemicals in your brain. What do you think happens if someone stops taking them, takes too many, or takes the wrong dose? Their brain chemistry is altered forever. You line that up with someone who is already schizophrenic, who maybe was predisposed to being in the psychosis. You got a dangerous situation on your hands. And I think people need to start, thinking about that. Like it's not as easy as we take away the guns, the shooting stop. It doesn't work that way. I mean, in London, in England, and New Zealand, they have really, really strict gun laws. But guess what they used to kill people with? You guessed it, knives. A lot of knife attacks. I think it's a lot more complicated than people think. So, I don't know. I don't think it's as easy as people want it to be, and I think that's an issue with a lot of things, is an abusive relationship with their dog. And I think a lot of people always want things to be so simple, but they're just not, dude. The world is complicated as hell, man, and it's going to be complicated forever, and that's never going to change. It's a complicated world we live in, man. It is. I mean, heck, just for us to figure out why we don't float in the sky, that was not easy. Figuring out what gravity was not easy. It was right in front of us, literally right in front of us the whole time, but we didn't try to find it. We couldn't find it. We couldn't figure out a solution. It's complicated, man. Things seem easy on the surface level. Gravity seems like one of those things. Well, yeah, if we can't jump, then that must mean something's pushing us down or pulling us down. Duh. But why was this so hard to figure out? Because things are complicated. Sometimes the answer is right in front of us. Sometimes. That was a weird story that I saw with the Chinese rocket, dude. Nobody was talking about that. China defends handling a rocket that fell to Earth. Okay, good job, China. China launched a huge rocket into space, and it fell apart, and it landed on Earth. And nobody knew where it was going to land. This is a story that went on for a week, and it finally landed. I think it obliterated in the atmosphere, re-entering our atmosphere. But like a bunch of pieces like fell and hit the Maldives, the Maldives, the islands off of India. China, but this is what you're dealing with China. They just don't care. Like China does whatever the hell they want. They will always do that too. Like they could care less, dude. They could care less. I don't know. It's wild. It's a wild country over there, dude. They still have like concentration camps, except instead of Jews, they do Muslims, Uyghur Muslims, and people don't talk about that either. I talk about that all the time in this podcast. They spy on other people. I mean, we do too with Apple. Yo, I rewatched that Ricky Gervais thing, I think in the 2019 Golden Globes. Dude, he goes in. He goes in on everybody there, dude. He starts pointing at people and be like, oh, all you guys know Harvey Weinstein. He was my friend, or he was your friend, not mine. Don't act like I don't, like you don't know what you're talking about. He started calling Tim Cook. He literally right in front of Tim Cook, who if you guys don't know, he's the CEO of Apple. He starts talking about like, oh yeah, well, all these huge companies support, China. Yeah, an Apple. Look at Apple TV, run off of Chinese slaves. Like he's just going in on these people, yo. It was hilarious to watch. I was literally belly laughing. I had to show it to Taylor because I don't think she's ever seen it. But that dude was just taking shots, dude. And then we tried to watch The Office, and I couldn't do that the European style. I couldn't do it, man. Just couldn't do it. First genetically modified mosquitoes released in the United States. Biotech firm Oxytec launches a controversial field test of its insects in Florida after years of pushback from residents on regulatory complications. Of course it's Florida. This could be a disaster. Is working closely with the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District to monitor the field trials of genetically modified mosquitoes. How do you work closely? Like, how do you work closely with it? Can a mosquito just fly? Like, you could just, like, leave. After a decade of fighting for regulatory approval and public acceptance, a biotechnology firm has released genetically engineered mosquitoes into the open air in the United States for the first time. The experiment launched this week in the Florida Keys over the objections of some local critics. Test a method for suppressing populations of wild Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, which can carry diseases such as Zika, dengue, chikungunya, and yellow fever. Oxytec, the firm based in Abingdon, UK, that developed the mosquitoes, has previously field tested them in Brazil, Panama, and the Cayman Islands and Malaysia. Oh, thank God. We do third world countries before we mess with ourselves. Capitalism, gotta love it. But until now, owing to a circumstitious series of regulatory decisions and pushback from Florida residents, no genetically engineered mosquito had been trialed in the United States, even though the country previously allowed tests of a genetically engineered diamondback moth in New York and an engineered pink bollworm in Arizona, both developed by Oxytec. Yo, Oxytec just makes modified animals. To think that we once just, like, crawled around the rainforest or, like, the forest of Africa, like, and now we're modifying animals. Like, we're the weirdest. Yo, aliens be like, what are you guys doing? This is from Oxytec. When something new and revolutionary comes along, the immediate reaction a lot of people is to say, wait, says Anthony James, a molecular biologist focused on bioengineered mosquitoes at the University of California, Irvine. Quote, so the fact that Oxytec was able to get the trial on the ground in the United States is a big deal. Experiment launched. Aedes aegypti makes up about 4% of the mosquito population. The Keys, a chain of tropical islands on the southern tip of Florida, but is responsible for practically all mosquito-borne disease transmitted to humans in the region, according to the Florida Key Mosquito Control District. Sounds fake. Sounds like it is a place where rich people put their tax money so they don't have to pay taxes, which is working closely with the Oxytec on the project. Researchers and technicians working on the project will release bioengineered male mosquitoes which don't bite to mate with the wild female population responsible for biting prey and transmitting disease. The genetically engineered males carry a gene that passes to the offsprings and kills female progeny in early larval stages. Males' offsprings won't die, but instead will become carriers of the gene and pass it to future generations. As more females die, the mosquito population should dwindle. Fascinating. Could work, could also not work, could also ultimately backfire, and we could just have a bunch of genetically modified mosquitoes flying around Florida and then coming up to here and then killing these things and killing that thing. And next thing you know, Greta Thunberg's screaming about them. Oxytec has placed boxes of mosquito eggs in undisclosed location, the Florida Keys, to protect against vandalism. Oxytec, can you Oxytec stock? Can you invest in them? No, you can't. You can go to the website though. Friendly and powerful technology for a changing planet, and their page is nothing to do with science. Like, their front page is just a bunch of people throwing colorful powder everywhere. Who is our biggest investor? I always like to see, like, our company and our culture. Our values: trust, integrity, authenticity, inclusiveness, transparency, humility. Our principles: work with integrity at all times. Cool, we just repeat the same thing. Our people. There he is. Gray Franson. Guys got a very white team there. No diversity at all, man. Oxytec. Gray Franson. Gray Franson, you look like a nice gentleman. Let me just roast you real quick. Oxytec. What does he do? I don't know. Recently named one of the 10 to end malaria. Good job, buddy. I don't know. Sounds cool. Could backfire. Could be really bad for the world. Could be great for the world. Who knows? It could get rid of all the evil little mosquitoes, but it could also backfire and screw us all up. This is what I wanted to talk about. Yo, this is what I want to talk about. This is why I think Elon Musk is the best. Like, this dude is wild. The New York Times. Dogecoin had an eventful weekend thanks to Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, is Elon Musk really taking Dogecoin to the moon? That's what the Tesla chief executive has been pledging to do with the Joe-key cryptocurrency, mostly in terms of cheering on its skyrocketing price. But on Sunday, he tweeted that one of his other companies, SpaceX, is launching a satellite called Doge 1 on a mission paid for with Dogecoin. We are in a simulation, friends. This isn't real. We are literally, somebody right now is at their house. They created this game, and we are the characters, and we're just playing in it. They got tired of using money. They used dog faces. SpaceX, tweeted by Elon Musk. SpaceX launching satellite Doge 1 to the moon next year. Mission paid for in Doge. First crypto in space. First meme in space. To the moon. The announcement came the morning after Mr. Musk dropped a few Dogecoin references on Saturday Night Live, at one point calling the token a hustle. It dropped viciously. I'm still holding. I'm a hodler, which means hold on for dear life. Dogecoin, which is based on an internet meme about a Shiba Inu, which is a type of dog, fell by nearly a third in its price on the night of the show. It was such an eventful night for the cryptocurrency that Robinhood trading app couldn't keep up again. The crypto token is still up more than 10,000% in price this year. SpaceX and Geometric Energy Corporation, Canadian technology firm, are teaming up to carry a 90-pound satellite on a Falcon 9 moon mission, according to a statement Sunday. Having officially transacted the Doge for a deal of this magnitude, Geometric Energy Corporation and SpaceX have solidified Doge as a unit of account for lunar businesses, said GEC's chief executive Samuel Reed. A company representative confirmed to DealBook that the project was not a joke, but declined to explain further. So, pretty wild. Away from the memes and manias, the cryptocurrency is maturing, as shown as a growing contingent of lobbyists in Washington and recent hiring spree of former regulators. This month, the House passed a bill backed by crypto lobbyists to create a working group to examine frameworks for regulating digital assets. The bill, said Representative Stephen F. Lynch, Democrat of Massachusetts, was a chance to act proactively toward financial innovation rather than to address gaps in the regulatory framework after the fact. The bill is now with the Senate Banking Committee. Financial regulators have been slow when it comes to protecting consumers from private sector digital assets to add more risk to our financial system. Sherrod Brown of Ohio, the committee chair, told DealBook in a statement he declined to provide a timeline. Yeah, so that's cool. We're actually legitimately going to the moon. Dogecoin's actually going to the moon. Actually going to the moon. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. It's a good day. It's a good day to be an American. It's always a good day to be an American. That's my thing. I always tell people, how you doing today? I feel free. You know? I think we're free in this country, dude. We do what the hell we want in this country. Yeah. So, what else is going on? What else is going on, dude? Archaeologists discovered remains of 9 Neanderthals near Rome. Ooh. Shocker. See what's going on in India, dude. They're still like those poor people getting crushed, man. Feel terrible. What else? What do we have? I've got a minute and a half I gotta make. I was gonna barely make it up here. Let's see what's going on in the world of business. Here's a hacking group reportedly responsible for the Colonial Pipeline, always getting hacked. That's just the way it works. Melinda Gates' body language at events with Bill Gates gave away her unhappiness years before divorce announcement. That's awesome. Don't care. What to watch today? I don't care. It is fascinating. It is fascinating to see if Melinda Gates is going to start like putting Bill Gates on blast over the Jeffrey Epstein thing, because apparently the word on the street is that she warned Bill Gates about Jeffrey Epstein, and Bill Gates didn't listen to it at all. That should be fascinating to see how that all goes down. It could be a disaster. You know, Melinda Gates could be getting whacked next if she starts talking too much, and we don't know. We just don't know. I'm speculating, not a threat, just speculating. That's what I do in this podcast. I just speculate. I think even Goldman Sachs, they just opened up a They just hired a bunch of people to help trade digital currency on their books for the clients. Like, it's a real thing. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Chipotle to hike wages. Debut referral bonuses and attempt to hire 20,000 workers. This is the thing. Everyone's trying to hire people. 1/3 of people who delayed mortgage payments during COVID used cash for groceries. Trula V agrees to acquire Harvest House. Okay, anyway, guys, I made 40 minutes. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast, episode 191. We're closing into 200 episodes. It's incredible. Like I said, it's incredible. If you guys want to rate, you totally can. If you guys want to leave it a review on Apple Podcasts, it helps a lot. Comments on YouTube help a lot, but just watching it is, the biggest benefit to the podcast. Just watching the podcast, that helps more than anything else. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. I'll catch you guys on Thursday with the new episode 192 on that day. Be blessed, be safe, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys in 24 to 48 hours. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out. See ya.